next week, we're mentioning talking about California's Common Core.
Yeah, so by next week this week we're gonna finish off the lessons that we're doing right now. So by next week we're gonna be starting a new one. We're gonna be covering variables, which are gonna cover standards, scene structure and expressions for algebra. We abbreviate it as ASSE, and it's going to be 1A. If you read standard 1A, it says interpret expressions that represent a quantity in terms of its context, and interpret the parts of the expression such as terms, factors, and coefficients. So again, that's ASSE 1A, and our objective for the students is for students to be able to interpret and evaluate and write algebraic expressions that model real-world situations. So we want them basically to be able to say anything like out in a real-world situation and be able to say it mathematically.
Right.
And to be able to write it out mathematically.
So they're going to read it, write it, and solve it?
Mm-hmm. And we're covering the mathematical practice number 7, which we have a poster over there. I know like it's hard to see from here. Do you see that little burgundy border poster? And we're covering standard number 7, which is to look for and make sense of structure. That's what we're hoping that the students will do. And the vocabulary that we're going to cover is terms, coefficients, constants, numerical expressions, and algebraic expressions. A lot of times I like to write this out on the board where it says vocabulary. I write those vocabularies out, and as a matter of fact, we can even put up our sentence frames so that the students, when we're having like a think, pair, share, they can use it all pretty and like in a nice structure in a sentence properly. The pages that we're going to use, we're going to be using the bridge material. And we were doing chapter 3, but we're actually going to be going back to chapter 1 for this specific lesson. And it's going to be pages 5 through 12. And in here again, it's really nice because it organizes their stuff. So I was thinking that, like I said, we could put the vocabulary up and we could do the sentence frames. And as a little quick note, we could also do a tree map for the operations. Just a quick one. Just like, like operations, and then like you could have the different ways. Yeah, exactly. For addition, you would write like sum, or you could write or more. That would be like another way. 5 more. You could do like it stands for addition. Same thing for subtraction, multiplication. I really like to have this be interactive with the kids. So as you're taking the notes, it's not just us coming up there and copying it down. Just saying like, what other different way can you say addition? And plus, I mean, they will bring out words from like kindergarten all the way to like the more complex.
So have them come up with it. Okay.
Yeah, and of course, if they need help, then we help them out. The ones that they usually don't really think about is like quotient, and then product. Those are the two. Sum and difference. Those are usually, every now and then you'll have a kid who will bring them up, but if they don't, and you just talk about, like plus is like the more little kiddish way to say it, and sum is just a fancier, more sophisticated way to say addition. But we just want them to be able to have all of that vocabulary for them to use, so that when they see word problems that use any of these words, they know specifically which operation they're supposed to be doing. And also when you're going to do the lesson, there's a place for the goal and the objective, so that's exactly where we write. Yeah. So under the goal, you don't have to write the whole goal like I read it. You just write ASSE 1A, and then the students in their binder have a copy of the standards.
Oh, okay.
So once they put ASSE 1A, they can turn to that page and see exactly what that means. Otherwise, it's not going to fit all in there. And then for your objective, you do put
Interpreting.
yeah, and we usually put like what we call SWBAT, SWBAT, which stands for students will be able to. And so that would be to interpret and write those expressions. We have the 97 minutes, so it should be more than enough time to complete these. And we're not just going to give them all of the pages 5 through 12. We'll break it down, after we take the notes. We do have Cornell notes for them, so they have a space to write the goal and objective, and then we require them after we're done with the notes. It's just like a quick little, like a reflection moment where they write the 3 questions, at least 3 questions on the left-hand side, and then at the bottom of the back of the page it has a reflection. So we expect them to write that reflection. And a lot of times, like if there's time while they're already getting in the groove of things, we quickly either walk on by or we collect, and it's really quick that you can read all the reflections. It's really fast. So you can kind of already gauge, are they getting it or are they not? It's just a quick way to just check for understanding. A lot of teachers call it to get out the door.
Yeah.
I don't like to do that for the notes themselves because then they don't have the notes at home. So that's why I like to either walk around and just check the reflection, and then they get to take the notes home. We could also have them, when we're done with the lesson, you could have them just talk with their partner, because they have assigned partners. Just turn to your partner and what was like the main idea of the lesson. That's kind of like their reflection.
That's what it's for understanding.
And then we're gonna have to gauge it. Every class is different, so depending on how they're doing, either they may or may not need more time. Because like I got distracted. I was mentioning, we chunk it off. Like we'll say, okay, do this number to that number, and then we kind of come back and check how they're doing and check for understanding. And a lot of times we'll do thumbs up, thumbs down. If you got this for an answer, thumbs up, and if you didn't, put the thumbs down. And then we can kind of see, like, can we move on or should we go back and reteach? But like I said, depending if they still need more time, then we can send this little packet for them to finish for homework. Otherwise, we collect it. If we get done with it, we collect it, and we're going to have like one of our own worksheets. Just quick, just like 5 or 6 problems. Not too much, not too crazy. 5 or 6 problems for them to do for homework, just so that we can again come back and check if they're being able to do it individually on their own. So that'll be the first day. It's a lot because it's 97 minutes. And then the next day we're going to be covering exponents, which covers NRN1, which is number quantity, the real number system. And what they will be able to do, or what we're hoping the standard is to explain the definition and meaning of rational exponent that follows from extending the properties of integers, exponents, and those values, allowing for the notation for radicals and terms of rational exponents. For example, we would define that 5 raised to the 1/3, and we're not going too incredibly deep into fractional exponents yet. So eventually we'll be able to have them say that 5 raised to the 1/3 is the same thing as a cube root of 5.
Yeah.
They have briefly seen exponents this year a little bit through bell work. I've already kind of put up, like, just kind of like to jog their memory. So they've seen a little bit of the exponents.